Kiran ma'am, please. Nirmala ma'am, please come forward and light the lamp. Monica ma'am, kindly come forward. Moving forward, I would like to request the convener of Women's IIT Indore to please come up and say a few words. Kiran ma'am.
Thank you so much, Tanushri. A very good morning to all of you. And it's my great pleasure to invite you all for this International Women's Day celebration 2022. And this year's theme, Gender Equity for Sustainability, which is based on the international theme, Breaking the Bias. So on this day, I heartily welcome our director, sir, Professor Suhas Joshi, then Dean Administration, Madam, Professor Preeti Sharma, and many faculty, colleagues, non-teaching staff, and my dear students. I welcome you all for this gathering, for this great event. Even it is not just the one day which we need to celebrate, it can be all the days, like 365 days of the year, right? It is very important in that sense. If we talk about some of the Indian ladies, leaders in the field in science and technology specifically, then some names actually comes in our mind, which includes Kiran Majumdar Shaw, who is the founder and chairperson of Biocon, and chairperson of Intel, also Dr. Sudha Murthy, like that, many more. There are many more than this. I can't name every one of them here. And I also want to welcome our online guest, our speakers of the day, Dr. Nishad, who is Principal Senior Scientist at CLRI Chennai. Then we have Dr. Kalpana Nagpal from Amity University, and we have Dr. Shweta Kushal from IIM Indore. So I welcome everyone directly or indirectly who are viewing online live streaming also. So I welcome everyone to this event of Women's Day celebration. Right, so I'll not take much time today because of the tight schedule we have. And interestingly, this year we have the contribution of non-teaching staff, like we have events for non-teaching staff, then we have a key talks by leaders in STEM. Then we have student activities like poster and debate. So everything, like all the sectors in one half, we have tried to accommodate, right, on this special day. So I congratulate all the women leaders and their supporters. So it is not about just women, it is men also. We cannot forget their support, which is being provided all the time in all the sectors in our day-to-day life. So without their support, it seems sometimes impossible to achieve the success, right? So thank you so much. And with these few words, I welcome you all again for this event. Thank you.
शुक्रिया किरण मैम इस कार्यक्रम को शुरू करने के लिए और अपने विचारों को हमारे सामने रखने के लिए। जैसे कि उन्होंने कहा कि आज का हमारा थीम है जेंडर इक्विटी विद सस्टेनेबिलिटी, कि केवल औरतें ही नहीं, आदमियों का सपोर्ट होना भी जरूरी है। तो उसके लिए शुक्रिया मैम।
Moving ahead, I would like to request Director Sir to please come and share his thoughts.
So good morning to all of you, and Professor Priti Sharma and Professor Kiran Bala, and all employees of the institute, staff and non-teaching staff and teachers also, students also. It's a happy sign that men are outnumbering in this hall to women. So, and we are celebrating a Women's Day. So wonderful. Thank you all for coming in large numbers for this program. I think today is the day where we celebrate our success of women, and we commemorate the sacrifices of our past women who have sacrificed for us. The first thing in the morning I did was sent a message to my wife saying that Happy Women's Day and thank you for all the support she is giving to me. So same way, I thank all of you for your support to the institute. First, I think there are a few achievers in the institute whom I would like to recognize. So one is Professor Kiran Bala. Recently, she was named as one among the 75 women in the STEM education in the country. So congratulations, ma'am, and we are proud of you. Professor Mohan Sundari Tangavel, she was selected as RBI scholarship for faculty members in 2021. So congratulations to her. Yeah, in general, I have been struggling when I was at IIT Bombay to about this gender ratios. It was like very difficult at IIT Bombay, being a massive institute, and we always used to get questioned, what's the gender ratio among the students? And all director, deans, will be all like hiding the face, what to do? And so we are at that place. It is very difficult because the numbers are so large, and the earlier population was like male only. The mechanical students never remember that there was a girl in their classes. It was like so difficult to remember. So so it was like older batches was something very difficult. Ratio was very skewed. So recently, Government of India, courtesy to Government of India, that they have recognized this fact that the uh, one woman in a science and technology or mathematics makes a lot of difference. Of course, in arts also, I don't say that. Traditionally, women are going into the arts, and that's why the thought process is. And that's why they promoted that the IIT should hold 14% seats for the women students and supernumerary seats, not affecting the overall ranking. And since then, I think the gender ratios has increased in IIT Bombay. Also, another fact was we were always, when such questions used to come, we used to go abroad and have alumni gatherings, and questions used to come about gender ratio. Then we used to say that, okay, we have now 2 women as deans in IIT Bombay. So here, when I came back and I found that Professor Priti Sharma has been a dean of administration for almost a decade. So so thank you, and I think in this respect we are definitely ahead of IIT Bombay from that point of view. One another group of women who are working tirelessly for the institute is Dr. Shilpa Raut and her team of all the nurses and doctors and physiotherapists, whatever they are working for the institute, and especially they had very tough time during this COVID phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. They are still continuing. So please give a big hand to their teams. So so thank you, ma'am, for all your support, and we look forward to your continued support. During my visits, I found that very interesting departments, and HSS department was supposed to be, I mean, I found it very fascinating, the amount, kind of work they are doing, and the kind of sociological issues they are working on. I think they are tremendous. So I congratulate Professor Nirmala and her team for doing a wonderful job. Her work on digital humanities is something very interesting. And I think a lot needs to be done in humanizing the digital tools. When you develop a digital tool, you actually forget the humans behind it. And that's where the problem comes. So that's where the humanizing digital tools is the most important thing. On the administration of the institute side, I have mixed reports in the sense that reports are like 10%, 10%, something like that. But the authentic, I would consider the report given by women most authentic. So, in our administration, I'm told that there are 15% of the women, and which is lower than what Mr. Hota is saying, which is, yeah, his number is lower than what I am saying. So I take the higher number and say that 15% is the better. And I think, yeah, we have to look into this aspect also, that 15% is little less. We should be able to attract more women in the administration. On the little bit downside, or other good side, let me tell you one more good side, is that we have a good girls students population. That's the most important part. And yeah, 23% of the girl students are, of our students are girl students. This ratio is enviable to many IITs, I can say that. You know, it's not easy to have that ratio. I'm also having a pressure to build another girls' hostel, most probably. So that is, there's a lot of pressure. I don't know how, but we will be able to manage. But in next 3 years, definitely, before next 3 years, we will have to build another girls' hostel in the institute. One last aspect, last in the sense, the statistics aspect is the number of teaching faculty members, women teaching faculty members in the institute is hardly 10%. So that I think, and there are 3 departments, which includes my department also, mechanical engineering, MEMS and chemistry, they just don't have any women faculty member. So I think the mechanical department should strive very fast and quickly to get at least some women faculty member. I was instrumental in getting at least 2 faculty members in mechanical engineering department at IIT Bombay when I was head of the department. And those 2 were, I mean, the earlier women faculty member in the department, when she was, we never, I mean, this generation was not actually knowing. So 2 has become a very good addition, but I would like to, you know, urge all the departments to look into it. There are many students achievers. I just want to mention their names because the list given to me was very big, but Shruti Landge from electrical engineering, who got silver medal of the institute. Arti Samal, who got Booty Foundation gold medal. Vartika Pathak, who got MEMS department best BTP last year. And there are about several, Anuksha Paul, who got Linux Foundation scholarship, which is 500 among the only 500 scholarships are given globally. Niyati Totala, she got Google Generation Scholarship. Only 70 girls are given in Asia Pacific region. And there is a group of girls who got Amazon hackathon with Amazon scholarships, like Rama Anjali and Sakshi Pandey, sir. So congratulations to all the girl students. I was given a very big list, but it's difficult to read all that. One another small aspect, but I just want to mention this aspect here is that the even today there are difficulties for the girl children to undertake higher education. We have experienced many times the cases that even after passing the IIT JEE advanced exam, the parents would tell to a girl child, take admission in local college, local engineering college, and not go to the IIT. I'm very happy that our hostel, girls' hostel, is full, and a lot of things are girls are coming. But I have personally experienced this in my family, my nearby people. Even after convincing, they have asked the girl child to take admission in local engineering college and not going to the IITs. So IIT Bombay has one initiative in this context, and this across all IITs. What they do is that after the declaration of the advanced results, they find out all the girl students who are likely to get admission, and they talk to the girls as well as their parents. So they form a team of 60, 70 kind of volunteers, and they talk to all the girl students and their parents, saying that there is absolutely no problem when your girl child comes to the IITs. It's not like any other, local college in your mohalla where, where there are, possibility of, girls getting, trouble. But that kind of situation is not there. In IITs, the situation is very good. So they try to convince the parents that they should send the girls to this IITs for education, whichever branch they get, but let them go to the IITs. So that initiative is there, and it is across all IITs. I'm not sure if they have touched our IIT, but I think I would request some of the HSS faculty members to, you are there, no? Okay. So just participate in that, and even if one girl child is missing in that context, we are losing a future technocrat, a future administrator, a future doctor, or whatever. I mean, future leader, women leader. So better not to lose when they have qualified, when they have come forward. So group of girl students also help the professors. I think Professor um, uh, Prita Pant from IIT Bombay, she spearheads this. Last year, we got a small funding from one of the alumni, small funding for this program. Earlier, it was like mostly freelance. This used to be, but they want to create a lot of stories about around these that the girl students have come to the institute and got benefited, or just came to the institute and found that what they felt or what their parents felt at home is not true. And those stories they want to generate, they want to create those stories and actually put it on the web, so that next time the students come, girl students come and they want to seek admission, they have all those things as the reference. So as and when the things come, I think after the advanced results, this for 1 month they work, actually that's the time period they work. So please participate, and let's see, we should not miss this. Another small thing is that, but we have reconstituted a women's cell in the institute with Professor Kiran Bala as the head, and all of you should feel safe and appropriate to talk to her and her team in the event there are difficulties, or you face any difficulties in the campus or in the working environment. So please do come and talk to her in case there are some things. And lastly, I pledge that we will, all faculty members, there are many faculty members here, we'll pledge that we'll try to improve the women ratio in the faculty positions in the institute. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. All the best.
धन्यवाद डायरेक्टर सर कि आज विमेंस डे पर हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट की सभी महिलाएं और गर्ल्स स्टूडेंट को रिकॉग्नाइज करने के लिए। आशा करती हूँ कि आपका सपोर्ट, आपकी प्रेजेंस जितनी भी विमेंस हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट में हैं वो किसी भी लेवल पर हो, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, साइंस में, फैकल्टीज़ या गर्ल्स स्टूडेंट को आगे बढ़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करेंगी। धन्यवाद सर।
Thank you, Director Sir, for gracing our event. Next, I would like to request Dean Ma'am to please come up and share her thoughts with us.
Good morning, everyone. And I wish all of you a very happy and successful International Women's Day. And I have spoken yesterday, so I did not know that I'll be called today also. So what I would like to share is in continuation with what I spoke yesterday, that this is the time and this is the opportunity where we promise ourselves that we will help each other because we understand. We just don't understand ourselves, we understand other women, we also understand men. So we need to have a community which will support each other, and we all need to work. We are already doing that. And yesterday also I said that wherever you are right now is because of all the hard work that you have done yesterday. But you need to do excellent work now to have a very bright future. And as some of the philosophers have said, that we should not necessarily look for female leaders or women leaders, but we need to look and have just leaders. Just leaders are those who understand the meaning of justice, who understand that it is justice, it is the privilege that has to be provided to the underprivileged who have been underprivileged for such a long time that that underprivilegedness is imbibed in us. We take it for ourselves that, okay, maybe I cannot do it. We accept it. That is what I told yesterday also. Please don't accept. Please don't give up. Try again. And every day at night, promise yourself, I'll try, I'll give my better performance tomorrow and fulfill my dreams. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद डीन मैम, आपने हमें हमारे सामने अपने विचारों को रखा। थैंक यू मैम।
Next, I will request Kiran Ma'am to please come up on dais.
So I really want to thank Director Sir and Dean Administration Madam, the Registrar Sir. Out of his busy schedule, actually he took some time for us. I understand that he has many meetings lined up for the day, and so he's interested in the program also, but he has to leave at this moment. So that's what I wanted to say. But I'm really thankful to you, sir, for this.
Moving ahead, now we have some activities by the non-teaching staff. So we will start with a video presentation showing involvement of non-teaching staff in various activities.
जुल्फ जो बिखरी है रहने दो, कोई जो कुछ कहे कहने दो, दिल में है उठ रही जो लहर, रोको ना अब उसे बहने दो। खुद को देखो जरा मेरी नजरों से तुम, कितना जादू भरा तुम में, समझो ये तुम सी ही तुम रहो, तुम खूबसूरत हो। खुद से भी ये कहो तुम खूबसूरत हो। बात दिल की सुनो तुम खूबसूरत हो। तुम सी ही तुम रहो, तुम खूबसूरत हो। बिन तेरे जिंदगी आधी है, दिन वो क्या जो न तू साथी है। तूने जो हाथ ये थामा है, राह में रोशनी ला दी है। बंदो ना तुम कभी यूं ही पूरे हो, तुम मेरे होने को पूरा जरूरी हो। तुम सी तुम रहो, तुम खूबसूरत हो। खुद से भी ये कहो तुम खूबसूरत हो। बात दिल की सुनो तुम खूबसूरत हो। तुम सी तुम रहो, तुम खूबसूरत हो। तुम ही नजाकत हो और तुम ही ताकत हो। है तुमसे ही जिंदगी, तुम ही मोहब्बत हो। तुम सी तुम रहो, तुम खूबसूरत हो। खुद से भी ये कहो तुम खूबसूरत हो। बात दिल की सुनो तुम खूबसूरत हो। तुम सी तुम रहो।
फीमेल्स फैकल्टीज़ या फिर फैकल्टीज़ की ज़रूरत है, पर लेकिन जो महिलाएं हमारे लिए अलग लेवल पर सपोर्ट करती हैं, लाइक हमारे डॉक्टर्स, फ्रंटलाइन हेल्थ वर्कर्स या फीमेल्स इन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, उसके अलावा ग्राउंड लेवल वर्कर्स, लेबर्स, उनके बिना भी हम यहाँ कुछ नहीं कर सकते। तो मैं उन सभी को धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगी आज विमेंस डे पर। थैंक यू।
Thank you for this beautiful video presentation. Next, I would like to call upon Bindu ma'am for delivering a speech.
A very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would request all of you to please give a big round of applause for the video she compiled. Miss Pooja. You can't see my beauty on my face, but you can see it on my power and strength. My power is the mental strength I possess, and the true beauty is my soul. With this powerful thought, I, Bindu Suresh, extend a very warm welcome to you all this ceremony of Women's Day celebration. Women, a beautiful creation of God, blessed with power of creating a new life, a creative force of the universe. She is the symbol of love, care, kindness, patience, and selflessness. She is the fire and passion. Her quiet bravery screams loudly. There was a time when women faced multiple risks and violence in the family, school, society, and even from the strangers. But now, when women are empowered, there is a tremendous changes in the society. Through education, literacy, profession, and independency, they started feeling liberty, happiness, and enjoying their womanhood. They started exploring various opportunities in the field without any limitations and restrictions. Today, women rule almost in every field of life and work at par with the men and equally contributing for their family, society, and the nation as a whole. They raised their status everywhere. All the women deserve respect, love, care, happiness, and of course, a word of appreciation too. Every day is our day, but 8th March is globally marked as International Women's Day to celebrate the social, economical, cultural, and political achievement of the women. And it is also a great occasion to remember the women who have inspired us the most and the wonderful women who made your life more meaningful. When women are empowered, there is an immeasurable improvement in the lives of everyone around them. In some places, women are still lacking their right to get basic education and experiencing physical, mental, and sexual violence at home and society. Equality is not only a fundamental right, but also a necessary foundation for the peaceful and prosperous sustainable tomorrow. Equality doesn't mean identical. Find your true self, live in your dream and vision, live in your idea of changes. Moreover, excel in your area and shine with your own individuality. Your action should speak for you. This is the time we have to wake up and uplift the less privileged women in surroundings and do what we can truly do to make positive changes in their life. On the occasion of Women's Day celebration, we have already started appreciating the frontline female workers of our community and also distributed female sanitary napkins to the female workers engaged in various constructions in our site and to make aware about their health and hygiene. Taking up the theme of International Women's Day 2022, Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, as our Dean ma'am said, why can't we take a step ahead, a small step towards our social responsibility? Our effort should be to reach up to the female occupants of orphanage, rehabilitation centers, old home, and less privileged areas to conduct some awareness sessions on education and health, and also some sessions on various schemes of the government for women empowerment, so that they can earn their livelihood with pride and bundle of self-respect. Hope the staff and students of our community especially will contribute, will voluntarily come forward and contribute for this noble cause. We are sure that with the help of Staff Welfare Authority, Association and Student Gymkhana and the kind support of the Institute Authority, we can definitely do our bit. Imagine a world where men and women have equal power and opportunity. Life is very interesting. At the end, some of our greatest pain become our greatest achievement. Respect each other and stand for each other. Together we can do great things. Thank you. Wish you all a very happy Women's Day.
धन्यवाद बिंदु मैम अपने विचारों को हमारे सामने रखने के लिए। डेफिनेटली हम सब मिलकर के हमारी महिलाएं और जो हमारा थीम है जेंडर इक्विटी विद सस्टेनेबिलिटी उसको लेकर के साथ आगे बढ़ेंगे। थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you, ma'am, for an enlightening speech. Next, we have a small act presented by Urvashi and Apeksha, ma'am.
respected faculty members, senior officers, students, and my dear colleagues. Warm wishes on International Women's Day 2022. I believe that we do not require any adjectives for, praising women because we all are amazing. Suo moto. On this special day, I, Urvashi Sharma, and my fellow colleague Apeksha Rajpurohit, the staff members of Training and Placement Cell, have planned a duologue on the theme of the day, that is gender equity for sustainability. This is a very vast topic, as we all know. It's not restricted to few PPTs or rather, few paragraphs. But due to time constraint, we could not elaborate much. So we have chosen a small bit of that, which is the recent, popular topic of the era, that is work from home. And we'll try our very best to elaborate in the way which we have tried to portray through picture PPT. The PPT doesn't have any words or it doesn't have any literature as such. We have just tried to symbolize everything through pictures in this PowerPoint presentation. Hope you all will like it.
Hi, Urvashi.
Hi, Apeksha.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
First of all, a happy Women's Day to you and to everyone here.
Wow, that's lovely. Happy Women's Day to you too, dear.
Thank you for the sweetness. Well, Urvashi, don't you think that this Women's Day has become popular lately? However, both the genders have been contributing for the betterment of families, society, and country as a whole from so long. But the point here is whether women have been treated in the same way or appreciated for all the sacrifices, or I should say, for fulfilling the duties of being women.
You're right. We talk about women empowerment, gender equality, but it is much broader and deeper because what we need more is to be more human and be kind enough to support and praise.
Exactly, Urvashi. We say women empowerment is making women socially and financially independent, but I believe a woman would like to feel this independence more in terms of mental independence, taking decisions independently, pursuing passion, following dreams, and most important, a freedom to say no when needed.
Well, on that note, Apeksha, I would like to highlight that even in this Corona time when it was very tough for all to manage due to the pandemic, and work from home was treated as a benefit or leisure, it was also a double duty for women because firstly, they had to manage their domestic work, they had to fulfill their professional commitments, and on top of that, the children who are attending the online classes, that was really not an easy task for us. And in an invitation of letter to young Indians, our Honorable President Shri Ramnath Kovind has also narrated that this work from home has actually put working pressure, and they have termed it as triple burden. There was an article on that.
Oh yes, that's so thoughtful. Here we should understand the fact that if a person of such high level can be so empathetic and understand this, why not the ones with whom the woman is living or working?
Yes, Apeksha. I think everyone might have seen this in their home or in their surroundings, that women are loaded with so much work and mostly everything falls on mother only. I mean, in all the families, what I've seen, it usually falls on the female side, especially if you're married, then you have to handle many such things. But with all due respect to the men who actually supported the women in such great times, my great salute to such men.
Rightly pointed out, on this Women's Day, all we want to appeal is to be more open and acceptable towards the shared responsibilities, shared income, shared thoughts, and consensus. And then definitely it will be a shared happy relationship for sustainable tomorrow.
True, Apeksha. Why women cannot have the right to choose whether they want to work or they don't want to work? Why should they be dependent on their husbands or any male member of the society to guide them to to direct them whether they should work or they shouldn't work? Actually, that will be the real empowerment when the women should take their own decision of whether they should work or they shouldn't work.
Certainly, why women still need permission to do work or not to do housework, why it can be as equal and okay as it is for men. Together, we should think about a harmonious and sustainable home space as well as workplace.
Yes, on this note, we would like to conclude this And we hope our thoughts would have enlightened the way we take WFH as not only work from home, but it is work for harmony.
Once again,
A
happy
very happy
Women's
day
Day.
to all the lovely ladies out here.
Together, may we raise each other.
And may we praise each other.
Thank you.
थैंक यू उर्वशी मैम एंड अपेक्षा मैम। सीरियसली ये बहुत ब्यूटीफुल प्रेजेंटेशन थी, मुझे पर्सनली बहुत पसंद आई। और कुछ चीज़ें कि वर्क फ्रॉम होम में विमेंस के ऊपर काम बढ़ गया, डबल ड्यूटी, ट्रिपल ड्यूटी। सीरियसली ये बात सही थी। हम लॉकडाउन में घर पर रहे, हमने अपनी मम्मी को देखा। माई मदर इज़ नॉट शी इज़ अ वर्किंग लेडी, और उनका काम इतना बढ़ गया। तो अभी आज हम विमेंस डे पर अगर हम उनको सम्मानित करें, उनके सपोर्ट को समझें, तो वही शायद ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। और आज के थीम के अकॉर्डिंग जेंडर इक्विटी, तो जो हमारे मेन हैं वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा, वैसे अब तो काफ़ी सपोर्ट करने लगे हैं पहले से, तो उनका सपोर्ट भी बहुत ज़रूरी है। थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Next, I would like to call upon Harsh sir to recite a poem.
धन्यवाद। नमस्कार, मेरी कविता का शीर्षक है ओ नारी कैसे कह दूं तुम कुछ नहीं हो। ओ नारी कैसे कह दूं तुम कुछ नहीं हो, ज्ञान जो चाहे सरस्वती तुम, मान जो चाहे लक्ष्मी हो तुम, अपराधों का साया चाहे धरती पर तो काली दुर्गा का रूप हो तुम। ओ नारी कैसे कह दूं तुम कुछ नहीं हो, खुशियों का संसार तुम्ही से, जीने का आधार तुम्ही से, बंद होते और खुलते भी हैं दुनिया के दरबार तुम्ही से। ओ नारी कैसे कह दूं तुम कुछ नहीं हो, प्रेम की शुरुआत तुम्ही से, जीवन का आगाज तुम्ही से, हे जहां में जगमग सूरज से, सूरज की चमकार तुम्ही से। ओ नारी कैसे कह दूं तुम कुछ नहीं हो, कभी कठोर कभी नेक हो तुम, हर रिश्ते में हरी एक हो तुम, ममता शक्ति और मोहब्बत नारी तुम एक हो मगर अनेक हो तुम। ओ नारी कैसे कह दूं तुम कुछ नहीं हो, आन बान और शान तुम्ही से, संस्कारों की खान तुम्ही से, दर्द त्याग और ममता की है संसार में पहचान तुम्ही से। ओ नारी कैसे कह दूं तुम कुछ नहीं हो। धन्यवाद। सभी को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
धन्यवाद मिस्टर हर्ष, आपकी कविता बहुत ही सुंदर थी। कविता की लाइंस बहुत सुंदर थी। नारी बहुत कुछ है, पर हम सब उसको समझें कि नारी लक्ष्मी सरस्वती सब है, और उसको सारी पावर मिले कि वो अपने डिसीजन ले सके। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Harsh sir. Next, there is a speech by Rohit Khetri sir. Please.
धन्यवाद। आज के इस शक्ति पर्व के अवसर पर यहाँ उपस्थित सभी प्राध्यापकगण, अधिकारीगण, कर्मचारीगण, छात्रगण, आप सभी को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। आज सुबह से हम देख रहे हैं महिलाओं के चेहरे पर एक विशेष खुशी, एक विशेष भाव है। पिछले कुछ सप्ताह से देख रहे हैं काफी जोश से एक दूसरे से मिल रही है, बात कर रही है। किंतु मतलब हमें ये ध्यान रखना होगा कि ये जोश, ये जुनून सिर्फ कुछ दिनों का या कुछ हफ्तों का ना होकर पूरे साल ये जोश और ये जुनून बरकरार रहे। और हमें आशावादी और अभिलाषी होना चाहिए कि इसी तरह का सम्मान उन्हें प्राप्त होता रहे। धन्यवाद। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस हमें यह अवसर प्रदान करता है कि हम इस दिवस पर महिलाओं द्वारा अर्जित उपलब्धियों की सराहना करें। वैसे तो हर दिन मातृत्व का दिन है, हर दिन शक्ति का पर्व है, हर दिन उत्सव है इंसानियत का, जिसकी केंद्र बिंदु महिला है। और इस भाव के साथ अब मैं आज अपने इस संभाषण को प्रकट करना चाहता हूँ। एक दिन मैं किसी एक महिला नेत्री का भाषण सुन रहा था, किसी पश्चिमी देश की महिला नेत्री का। उन्होंने बताया कि एक अपोजिशन पार्टी के नेता ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस पर उन्होंने कहा Madam, today I want to greet you. So she replied, thank you, sir. But let me remind you, as a opposition party, for the 364th day, you beat us, and on the 365th day, you greet us. So ये परंपरा हो सकता है पश्चिम देश में हो, क्योंकि हमारी संस्कृति तो ये नहीं सिखाती है, और ये कल्चर हमारे यहाँ हो भी नहीं सकता है. आज हम महिला को लक्ष्मी, सरस्वती, दुर्गा, इन सब नामों से संबोधित करते हैं. हमारे संस्कृति में महिला को लक्ष्मी, सरस्वती का स्थान पुरातन काल से ही प्राप्त हुआ है. बट आज के युग में मेरा मानना है कि अब वे केवल लक्ष्मी, सरस्वती ना होकर दुर्गा और काली का भी रूप धारण करती रहती है. ये किसी फैमिली के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में नहीं, किसी आचरण के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में नहीं, बल्कि ये और नारी को दुर्गा और शक्ति का अवतार इसीलिए बताया जा रहा है आज के युग में, क्योंकि आजकल जितने भी कार्य क्षेत्र हो, चाहे वो शिक्षा, खेल, राजनीति, कला, साहित्य, ऐसे सारे क्षेत्रों में महिलाओं द्वारा अपनी मेहनत का लोहा मनवाया जा चुका है. किंतु आज स्थिति बदल चुकी है. आज वे सशस्त्र सेनाओं में भी बढ़ चढ़कर हिस्सा ले रही है. जैसे कि आज की थीम ही है इक्वालिटी फॉर सस्टेनेबिलिटी. तो एक सशस्त्र सेना में उनका योगदान, एक ऐसा कार्यस्थल जो कि सदैव से पुरुष प्रधान माना गया है, किंतु आज के युग में जब किसी एक युद्ध का, किसी एक रक्षा प्रणाली का हम कैलकुलेशन किसी युद्ध के तौर पर नहीं कर सकते. ये हाइब्रिड वॉरफेयर का युद्ध हो चुका है आज का. तो इसलिए हमारे देश में महिलाओं का सशस्त्र सेना बलों में योगदान काफी बढ़ रहा है. और स्त्री पुरुष समानता के लिए ये एक हमारे देश में काफी अच्छा प्रचलन चालू हुआ है. हमारे देश में स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में के समय से ही युद्ध में महिलाओं का काफी योगदान रहा है. सन 1883 में कैप्टन लक्ष्मी स्वामीनाथन के नेतृत्व में इंडियन नेशनल आर्मी में रानी झांसी महिला ब्रिगेड की नींव रखी गई. सन 1883 में भारतीय सेना की नर्सिंग कोर को स्थापित किया गया. सन 1994 में भारतीय वायुसेना में सहायक की भूमिका में महिला पायलटों की भर्ती शुरू हुई. विगत कुछ वर्षों से कुछ 5-10 वर्षों से महिला सशक्तिकरण में काफी कुछ कार्य हमारे देश में देखा गया है. 2015 से हम सभी को ज्ञात होगा कि जैसे महिलाएं फाइटर प्लेन के चालक के रूप में भी अपनी सेवाएं दे रही है, और महिलाओं के लिए एक राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा अकेडमी का खोलने का भी निर्णय लिया गया है. देश के अर्धसैनिक बलों में फिर चाहे वो विशिष्ट सैन्य बल हो, जैसे एनएसजी, एसपीजी, आरपीएफ, एनडीआरएफ, बीआरओ जैसे अनेक सैन्य बलों में आज महिलाएं कार्यरत है. विगत कुछ वर्षों से हमने देखा है कि गणतंत्र दिवस और स्वतंत्रता दिवस की जो परेड होती थी, तो पहले हम देखते थे उसमें केवल जो बाइक्स के जो करतब होते थे वो पहले पुरुषों द्वारा किए जाते थे. किंतु विगत कुछ वर्षों में हम ये देख रहे हैं कि राजपथ पर जो कार्यक्रम होते हैं उनमें महिला बटालियन द्वारा भी ऐसे ही कुछ करतब दिखाए जा रहे हैं. हमारे देश में रक्षा विभाग में महिलाओं के योगदान की सराहना पूरी दुनिया भी कर रही है, तथा भारत की इस नई नारी शक्ति सोच का अनुसरण अनेक राष्ट्र करने लगे हैं. कुछ राष्ट्र आज भी देश की रक्षा तथा विकास में महिलाओं के योगदान को ना समझकर अपने प्रगति के पथ में स्वयं ही व्यवधान डाल रहे हैं, और उन्हें यह समझना होगा और यह दृष्टिकोण को बदलना होगा कि कोई भी देश अपने आधे कार्यबल को अपनी पसंद के क्षेत्र में भाग लेने के लिए अवसरों से वंचित कर अपनी अधिकतम क्षमता तक नहीं पहुंच सकते हैं. अंत में नारी शक्ति के सम्मान में 2 पंक्तियां पढ़कर अपने संभाषण को विराम देता हूं कि चल रही है मंजिल के सफर में, इन्हें मंजिल को पाना अभी बाकी है. चल रही है मंजिल के सफर में, इन्हें मंजिल को पाना अभी बाकी है. मत करो पहले से चर्चे इनकी हार के, इन्हें जीत का शोर मचाना अभी बाकी है. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. बहुत बहुत आभार.
थैंक यू रोहित सर, आपने बहुत ही अच्छी बातें कही। और कुछ बातें लाइक कि एक ही दिन विमेन को रिकॉग्नाइज करना सही नहीं है, बाकी के साल के पूरे दिन भी वो बहुत मेहनत करती हैं, तो इसलिए उनकी मेहनत को उन दिनों भी समझे। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Rohit sir. Next, we would like to call upon stage Dr. Shilpa Ma'am to please come and share her thoughts.
Morning, everybody. So I will like to thank everybody for, as director sir has said, that men are outnumbering women here. So I think women are doing their duty in offices. So once again, happy Women's Day. आज इस दिन मैं उन सारे पुरुषों को धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ जो who stood by us in good and bad times. अगर लास्ट 2 साल की बात कहें तो मुझे कभी ऐसा नहीं लगा कि मैं एक वुमेन ऑफिसर हूँ और मुझे किसी मेल से डील करना है. It was always equality. So from my home to my office to my colleagues, I thank all the men who stood by us in good and bad times. So मुझे लगता है कि महिलाओं में आत्मविश्वास चाहिए, मेहनत करने की इच्छा चाहिए, बट इसके साथ उन सभी पुरुषों को धन्यवाद देना चाहिए जिन्होंने हमें घर से बाहर निकलने दिया, बाहर कभी अनसेफ फील नहीं करने दिया. And I will like to thank our institute authorities that they never let us feel unsafe or any problem in the institute. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
थैंक यू मैम, आपने हमें बताया। वैसे भी सभी जेंडर्स में, फीमेल हो या मेल हो, सबको अलग अलग पावर्स मिली गई हैं कि फीमेल है तो वो इमोशनली ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग होती है, मेल है तो उनमें स्ट्रेंथ ज़्यादा है, तो बेसिकली हमें दोनों की ज़रूरत है। थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have a poem by Shilpa Chauhan, ma'am. Please come on the stage.
A very good morning to all of you. My name is Shilpa Chauhan. I am a writer and I'm working as a staff in Institute. So the title of my poem is Vedana. ये वेदना उन बच्चों, बच्चियों, नारी, युवतियों की है जो किसी ना किसी रूप में हमें कुछ ना कुछ संदेश दे रहे हैं. हमें आवश्यकता है उसे समझने की. आशा है आप इस कविता के माध्यम से उस भाव, उस वेदना के पीछे छुपे हुए भाव को समझ पाएंगे. वेदना, निष्कपट हृदय सी सुंदर रचना, परिपूर्ण ममत्व भरी सी रचना, ये कोमल पैरों से चलकर भविष्य आधारशिला निर्माणक. बेटियां हैं प्यारी, वे ममता भरा कल, खोजे लाख जगत कहीं, मिले ना इनका पूरक. कंधों से कंधा पुरुषों संग, करे सर्वदा नारी परिश्रम. खेल जगत क्या, शिक्षा क्या, चाहे हो कोई उधम. बेटी लाए दुलार और स्नेह, होती जीवंत उल्लास वे, रखने मन से नेह. इनकी नन्ही किलकारी से पहले ना सब ये अनुमान लगाए, वो कुल का दीपक होगा, सोच ये मन में ना अपनाए. भ्रूण है नन्ही बाला गर्भ में, जानकर सच ये ना घबराएं. ये कोमल मुस्कान है भावी, खुशियों से आंगन महकाए. महत्वाकांक्षा बेटियों की ना रोके, इनके सपनों की आस न रोके. न रोके पढ़ने की जिज्ञासा, कुछ कर गुजरने की चाह न रोके. कुछ कर गुजरने की चाह न रोके. धन्यवाद. And a happy Women's Day to all the female staff. Thank you.
धन्यवाद शिल्पा मैम, आपने बहुत ही सुंदर कविता हमें सुनाई. थैंक यू मैम.
Thank you, Shilpa ma'am. And thank you I thank all the staff community for coming and gracing this event. Now, moving ahead, we have talks by speakers. So not only to inspire the women, but also the male community, we will be listening to some empowering talks from women in science who has reached their goals fighting against all odds. Without taking much time, I will introduce the first speaker, Dr. Nishat Fatima, who is a senior principal scientist in CSRI, Central Leather Research Institute, India. Fatima has been awarded with many prestigious awards like INSA Medal for Young Scientist, SERB Women Excellence Award, to name a few. So, Dr. Fatima, please take the dais. She will be talking on science pursuits through the lens of a woman scientist.
Just 2 minutes. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our online speakers of the day. So we have Dr. Nishat from CLRI, who is the first speaker of the day. And then we have Dr. Kalpana Nagpal from Amity University. And third one is Dr. Shweta from IIT Indore. So I welcome all the speakers, and I'm really thankful to you all for accepting the invitation for today's event. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining.
A very good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. I'll just share my screen now. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A very, very good morning and a happy International Women's Day to one and all there. Thank you for taking me into IIT Indore. It's indeed a pleasure to be there with you all. Well, I have titled it as Science Pursuits Through the Lens of a Women Scientist. Nothing like having a humor to start with. So I just picked this up from the Google. Well, this girl is telling this boy, you don't believe me, do you? Well, it's a scientific fact that girls are smarter than boys. And she goes on to say, and do you know who discovered it? Of course, women scientists. Well, you can see the expression from the boy's face. Oh, good grief. Okay, let's move on. Have you heard this term pocket rocket? I mean, I would like to have this session to be interactive. Anyone in the audience who identifies this nickname pocket rocket? Okay. Do you identify this picture? I'm sure many, if I'm in the live audience, I would probably see hands going up. This is, of course, the fastest man in the world. That is Usain Bolt. How many identify this sprinter? Well, most of them would have identified Usain Bolt. This is Shelly Ann Fraser. Just to tell you what she has achieved. She is the first woman in the history to win 100 meters medals at 3 consecutive Olympics. And I say 3 consecutive Olympics, you all should know that Olympics is held every 4 years once. So which means for 12 years, someone has retained the title of being the fastest sprinter in the women category. And she's the only sprinter in the history, in fact, that includes the men as well, to become the world champion over 100 meters 4 times in 2009, 13, 15, and in 19. And you might think that, okay, probably she was, totally dedicated towards her career. She didn't probably think about anything else, but no, she was married, and in 2017, she took a 1-year break from athletics to have her first child. And she came back in 2019 World Championships. And she was at that point the oldest female sprinter at the age of 32. And only the second mom in this world to win an Olympic or 100-meter titles at the World Championship. And that is Shelly Ann Fraser for you. Now, why am I talking about a sports personality when I was supposed to talk about science, right? Must be wondering. The reason is we should all start with a why. In fact, this famous orator, Simon Sinek, always puts, whatever you do, just start with the why first. Then the hows and whats and, all that will just follow through. Now, what is the why which I'm trying to ask now? just go to Google. I'm sure, today it's like go-to place, right? So just go to Google and type the keyword in Google Images, footballer. You will get the images of, the screen will be flooded only with male footballers. And you should also remember that there is a women footballer team in every country. And when you type this keyword ballet dancer, probably one photo of a man crops up, mostly women. When you say a builder, again, it is fully men, zero representation from women. When you say receptionist, you end up having major of the photos which appear to be women and probably one man there. When you say the same thing as scientist, usually the photos of men come up to a large extent. And of course, thanks to Mary Curie and people like that, you have some women representation as well there. So why is it that it is considered that certain jobs or profession are suitable for men and certain jobs and professions are suitable for women? Well, actually, if you go back and type, teacher, again, you will have a lot of women, and you would think that if you probably even, the young girls sitting out there, if you talk to your parents and say that I want to be a teacher or a professor, they will say, yeah, that is the most suited job for a woman, you please take it. But trust me, today when we say that is a more suited job, there have been people who really struggle to make that change happen, that we consider this profession as more suitable for women. So I'm just borrowing this quote, which is very close to me. Be the change that you want to see in the world. If you think today you want certain things to be, in this order and not in this fashion, then it is you who make that change. And I'm going to list today 3 such change makers. Okay. And I've chosen 3 fields in which I'm going to talk about 3 change makers who literally were the first in that field. If I take education, it is Savitribai Phule. In fact, she was the first lady or women teacher of India. When I take chemistry, it is Dr. Kamala Sahoni. She is the first doctor in science, in PhD in science. And if you take the medicine field, Dr. Anandibai Joshi is the first female doctor to have obtained MBBS degree in the Western culture. Now, when we say education, well, there are so many, sitting inside IIT Indore, you know what is the importance of education. It's practically a good foundation. It is on which the society builds, right? So it is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, as Nelson Mandela says. Now, here is this person, Savitribai Phule. She is the first female teacher of the India. She was a child bride. In fact, when I say a child bride, you would be wondering, like, how did then she break the shackles of, her husband or in-laws, and then went on to fight and become the first female teacher? Let me tell you, for all the men out there, definitely it is the support of her husband which made her what she could achieve. In fact, many times when people talk about feminism or talk about women's right, they want to put down the women. Please don't do that, because it is their support system which actually enables the women to perform. So I would like salute all the men out there. In fact, your director mentioned that there are more men than the women today there in the auditorium. I'm so happy that IIT Indore is so inclusive. So this, girl, I would say girl, who got married at a very young age, when she got married, she had her husband Jyoti Rao, who actually made her pursue education. It was not her parents, it was actually her husband who made her pursue education. And as I said, he was the man behind the success of this woman. So he sent his wife to get trained at a school, and she passed out with flying colors along with another woman, which is Fatima Sheikh. And in 1848, please mark the period I'm talking about. It is even 100 years before our independence. the husband and wife set up the first school for girls in Pune. Now, only 9 enrolled, obviously. And today, if you go back and see, everywhere, not only in Pune, I mean, across India, everywhere, the enrollment of girls is, in fact, more than, I would say, the boys as well. The toppers, the pass percentage, whatever number qualifiers you put in, girls are doing their best in school education. It's another story when they, go into higher education. But as far as school education is concerned, imagine when you started a school way back in 1848, you just had 9 people enrolling. And of course, the numbers grew. And these two were, remarkably changing the way education was made available to women. Now, I would always, when I read this story of hers, how many of us, when you go to office, okay, or when you come to your college, when you go out, carry 2 saris or 2 dresses? Let me tell you, this woman had a very, a different system. She used to carry 2 saris. Guess why? Because when she went out to, to do the job of teaching the girls, every single person on the road whom she went across, used to throw right from tomatoes, rotten tomatoes, to eggs, to stones. So naturally that will soil your sari, right? So she used to reach her school, change that sari into another fresh one, and then continue to do her job. Imagine, as I said, if you just typed teacher in Google Images today, probably, the page will be completely flooded only with lady teachers, coming up. And if you talk, as I said, if you talk to your parents, they would say, teaching is one of the ideal professions for girls. But here is the teacher, the first female teacher of our country, who was ridiculed and harassed for, in fact, teaching girls. Okay, so she went through that ordeal. And today, if we are in this position to say, yes, teaching is a best profession for girls, for women, it is thanks to her. So she was not only, with respect to education as a teacher, she was also the first female educationist of India and also a poetess. She has come out with so many books. So if you talk about, women emancipation, it has never been easy. In fact, we still continue to talk about it. But she would be the mother of Indian feminism, Savitribai Phule. There is a university in Pune in her name. Now, when you talk about chemistry, the country which is in advance of the rest of the world in chemistry will also be foremost in wealth and in general prosperity. Definitely, it's called as a central science. In fact, now when you talk about chemistry and science, this is the first Indian women PhD in science. Today, we have so many women who graduate out of colleges and have this PhDs in sciences, but she was the first woman. Now, so what? Okay, she happened to be, you might think, okay, somebody has to be the first, so she happened to be the first. But it is not so. When she, after finishing her MSc, when she went to IIT Bangalore to apply, BSc, and went to IIT Bangalore to apply for her master's and then her, PhD, the then director of IISc was none other than Sir C.V. Raman. He refused to give her admission on one ground that she was a woman. She really had to fight the prejudice, and she was granted because she sat in dharna and she said, why am I being refused to study further? So she was given permission on 3 conditions: that she will not be allowed as a regular candidate, 2, she has to work late night as per the instruction of her guide. Imagine the prejudice I'm talking about. And she will not spoil the environment of the lab. Now, I really don't understand this word spoil. So I'm sure as a researcher, she's going to keep her workbench as clean as probably the male colleagues of her. But imagine the prejudice in an Indian Institute of Science had in those days. Today, if you go there, you will probably find, again, more number of girl researchers, women scientists over there, if not equal number, right? But in the way back, when the first women wanted to, come back and do a PhD, this is what she faced. Nevertheless, she excelled herself so much that Raman had to give her permission to pursue science further. So a silent revolution had been fought and won, and that is why, if in the audience there is a girl student who is pursuing PhD, if there is a woman sitting there with a PhD degree, you have to thank her, because she fought for us. If we are today a PhD graduate and sitting and probably, even educating and having PhD students, it is thanks to her. And I should talk about her scientific contributions, because it was like, she was invited to the Cambridge University after, seeing her work. She was invited by Frederick J. Hopkins Laboratory, and she made a pioneering discovery of that every cell of a plant tissue contained an enzyme, which is cytochrome C. Today, probably that's one of the most researched enzyme. And her thesis on this subject was completed in 14 months. I don't know, maybe, the average time which a researcher today spends is about 4 to 5 years on an average, right? Very few do finish it pretty early also, but 14 months and 40 pages long. In fact, we have a notion in PhD, right? The thicker the thesis, you think that, badhiya kaam kiya hai, zyada kaam kiya hai. No, it is not. It is actually the content which matters. So that is what Kamala Sahoni proved. And she also dwelled on the effects of vitamins and its nutritive values. In fact, her work on the nutritive benefits of the palm extract, it's called as Neera, also fetched her the Rashtrapati Award. And she died in 1998. In fact, she collapsed right after the felicitation ceremony, which was organized by ICMR. So women across the world have been fighting for gender bias for decades, and Kamala Sahoni defied that gender bias. Now, when we come to the field of medicine, it is said usually, wherever the art of medicine is loved, there is also love for humanity. Here we have again a first female Indian physician, Anandibai Joshi. She was again a child bride. In fact, she was married at the age of 9. I mean, imagine, you can't even think that a 9-year-old married. Okay, that was way back in 1860s, when, that was the norm of the day. But nevertheless, what was the reason as to why that she wanted to be, a women physician? Why? Because she gave birth to a child when she was 14, and the child died because of some complications, and that resolved her that I would become a doctor. So that, imagine, it's not that there were no doctors in India at that point of time. We had MBBS doctors, we have other alternative medicine doctors as well. But if it comes to childbirth, okay, when it comes to childbirth, the women did not want to go to a male physician. It was a hesitancy of the women, obviously. They didn't want her child to be delivered by a man. So there were this midwives, those boys, whom we say, they used to come home and do the delivery. And it was called as, tumhara punar janmam hai. Like, it's like if you come out of your delivery alive, it's like rebirth to you. Why? Because they didn't go to hospitals or clinics, or they didn't have this trained doctors to whom they would go. Not the doctors were not there, but they didn't go because there were no female doctors. There were only male doctors, and the females did not want to go to them. So it was that triggered Anandibai to say that, no, I am going to be a doctor and serve these women. And she's also believed to be, the first female of Indian origin to study and graduate with a degree in medicine. So as I said, she's a child bride who's India's first licensed women doctor, and she's lauded on 3 different continents for her success. So she found the purpose of her life, and as I said, Indian women felt very uncomfortable with male doctors providing gynecological services. They were okay with, if they had a fever or, some other ailment, probably they were visiting the male physicians, but definitely not for their gynecological issues. And that is what she wanted to address. So one unfortunate thing was, though she was the first doctor, she couldn't practice actually because she picked up some flu, pneumonia kind of thing from abroad when she was back, and she died pretty young. And her last words were, "I have done all that I could." In fact, if you go to any hospital today and you see any female physician or doctor, gynecologist, or anybody, you know, general physician, anybody who's a female doctor in any hospital, clinic across our country, you have to thank Anandibai Joshi for really making it possible for women to think that, yes, I can do it. Okay. So she's truly a trailblazer. And I would also like to mention here about the first women FRS from India. Well, Royal Society is well known, and this has been in existence for 359 years. And in this 359 years, this society has taken so many number of years to award the first Indian women. We do have FRS as men in India, but it was as late as 2019 that FRS was given to the first Indian women, and that is Dr. Gagandeep Kang. And she's also the first Indian and the first ever woman to edit the Manson's textbook of tropical medicine. In fact, she's been in news thanks to this COVID, because she's a virologist basically. So, but her interest initially was, of course, the rotavirus, which she played a very pivotal role in devising and developing an Avante Grade vaccine to equip the India against rotavirus. And she has also been right now actively involved in this COVID virus. Well, let us come home, you know, very closer home. We have Dr. Kiran Bala, who just, you know, was on the dais to introduce me. And the next speaker following me is Dr. Kalpana Nagpal, and they have featured in what is called as 75 Women in STEM, which the you know, Government of India, DST, and the British High Commission recently released. You could see that, I mean, the 75 women have done extremely well. You should be proud, and I think Dr. Kiran, you know, should receive a big round of applause from all you people for you know, being there with you all today. So, as I said, I love, you know, to convey messages through humor. Well, there is this a sign which usually you will see when constructions and all those things are happening. Caution men at work. So this boy asked his mom, "Mom, why that sign?" The mother says, "Women work all the time. When men work, they need to put up signs." No offense to the men out there, it is just conveyed through humor. So what is the take-home message? Well, I don't know how many of you have seen this movie, Kung Fu Panda. If you have kids at home, you will end up seeing all the 3 parts which has come out. There is this, you know, duck who always is famous for the noodle soup he makes. Okay. So this panda asks him, what is the secret behind that noodle soup? This is his reply. Is it playing? Yeah.
The secret ingredient is nothing. Huh? You heard me. Nothing. It's no secret ingredient. Wait. It's just plain old noodle soup. You don't add some kind of special sauce or something? Don't have to. To make something special, you just have to believe it's special. There is no secret ingredient.
So for something to be special, you have to believe it is special. Okay. So the secret ingredient is the belief. Well, I love telling stories. I'm sure you would love to hear stories. There is this little boy, you know, who is, you know, he goes to his grandpa and asks him this question: what is the value of life? So what this grandpa does is he gives him a big stone and tells him that you go and find the value for this stone. don't sell it, but just go and find the value for the stone. So he takes the stone, he goes to the orange seller and asks him what is the cost. The orange seller says, I will give you 12 oranges, a dozen oranges in exchange for this stone. But the boy says, I can't sell it. So he goes to a vegetable seller now. The vegetable seller looks at that stone and says, I will give you a sack of potatoes. Okay. Again, the boy says, I'm sorry, I can't sell it. So now he goes to a jewelry shop owner. When he goes to the jewelry shop owner, he looks at that stone and says, okay, for this stone, I will give you 22-carat gold necklaces. The boy again says, I can't sell the stone. And then he goes to the precious stone shop owner. So that man puts that stone in a velvet cloth, goes round and round, on it and says, even if I sell whatever I have, in the whole world, I can't purchase this priceless stone. So this is what, the precious stone owner tells him. So this boy is more confused. He comes back and tells his grandpa whatever, each of them had told about this stone. So the grandpa then says, when the orange seller, vegetable seller, the jewelry shop owner gave the value for the stone, it is from their perspective. It is their perspective. The actual worth of the stone is priceless, which is what the actual guy, who understands the precious stone, he said it's priceless. So when, in life, you will also have people, you will come across so many people in your life who will come back and tell you, this is what you are capable of. This is what you can do. That is from their perspective. You know what's your worth. Okay. So don't fear. Someone will come to truly know your value, and you should never underestimate yourself. So respect yourself. Don't sell yourself cheap. You are unique and no one ever can replace you. As I said, you have to be the change which you want to see. Okay. I started with this change makers, citing examples of people who led the path for us. And you can do that for the future generation. If you think that certain things are not right, please change it, because you will be the trailblazer, you will be the trendsetter, you will be the path paver for the future generation. Okay, so in a gentle way, you can shake the world. If not now, when? Okay, so believe in yourself. It all starts with you, and the future is full of surprises and unintended consequences. Have a great day, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू मैम। आपने बहुत सारी ऐसी महिलाओं के बारे में बताया जो अपने स्तर से देश के लिए, हमारे परिवार के लिए, चाहे वो खेल में हो, साइंस में हो, बहुत कुछ करती हैं, पर हम उन्हें रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं कर पाते। और बहुत सी ऐसी महिलाएं जिन्होंने हमारे लिए लड़ाई लड़ी है हमारे हक के लिए, जैसे फर्स्ट पीएचडी इन साइंस, देन आनंदीबाई जोशी एंड फर्स्ट फीमेल इंडियन फिजिशियन, और महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया। तो थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू।
Thank you, Nishad ma'am, for your insightful stories. I'm sure most of us were not aware about these wonderful women. Also, I'd like to thank you personally for taking your time out from busy schedule. And I also wish you a very happy International Women's Day. Thank you, ma'am. Moving ahead, next we have Dr. Kalpana Nagpal Mam. She's working as an associate professor at MIT University. Starting with being a gold medalist during her graduation and post-graduation, she not only has authored a lot of publications and books, but also she has bagged the Haryana Yuva Vigyan Ratna Award in the year 2021. The topic of her talk will be Gender Equality, a New Motivational Way Ahead. I request Kalpana Nagpal Mam to please unmute herself and introduce.
I'm sorry, I've been asked to unmute. Is there a reason? I have unmuted myself, but I'm not Kalpana Nagpal. I'm Shweta Kushal, so I'm a little confused.
Kalpana Nagpal Mam, our second speaker, is trying to unmute herself. I hope this is some confusion. There is some glitch from the second speaker's side. Let's just hold patience for a few more minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Kalpana Ma'am.
Hello.
I wish you a
Hello,
very happy
everyone.
Women's Day.
Yes. Sorry for that internet connectivity issue.
That's okay, ma'am. That's okay.
Yeah.
Please
A
go
very
ahead.
good afternoon to all of you, and thanks for the wonderful introduction that you have given for me. A very pleasant afternoon to all of you, and a very happy International Women's Day. I should thank IIT Indore and especially Dr. Kiran for inviting me for this talk. Do let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So the theme of the talk today is gender equity, a new motivational way ahead. And if I talk about my own journey, then starting from a very small kid receiving a small incentive in the form of a shield, moving towards the Haryana Yuva Vigyan Ratna Award was quite challenging. At the same time, it was motivational for me for my next journey. Right. So if I talk about keeping all the students' perspective in my mind, that what could be the necessary component for our growth as an individual, I have noted down a few points that I think would be very useful for all of you to be student. We keep coming across with all these points in our daily life, but somehow we follow it for a certain duration, but lose our confidence and we come back to our original place, which is not actually the desired one. So I've noted down each and every point and we'll try to explain how they can be very necessary component for our growth as an individual. The very first point I must say is waking up early would be the very first step, because brain is the most active one and efficient also at the same time in the morning time. And there is no such distraction for what we are doing in the daytime, early morning time specifically. We can plan our day. Moving towards the second step, that is actually self-discipline, which help us to stay focused and help us in reaching our goal, overcoming the obstacles, and will wish to push ourselves to the new heights. If we talk about confidence, that is actually a self-belief, that is actually a motivation for us to respect our own decisions so that we can move forward for what we have actually planned for. Next thing is self motivation. As per me, it will help you to keep yourself moving even you are in the adverse situation. Will try to overcome the same and move forward. And the most important and vital is commitment, because this is important. Even if you fail, you have to track back to your original track if you are committed even in the adverse situation. So I'll share one of incidents that happened at my school level. What was that? Actually, I was a student of a Hindi medium school and suddenly transformed to an English medium school where I was not even able to understand the basic terminologies which were being utilized at that time, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I was known with the terms like Jama, Ghata, Guna, Bhag. And the result was I was losing my confidence in the class. So as a parent, my father actually helped me out. He asked me to have a piece of paper and make it in the form of a diary after all. With due course of time, I started noting down all the things which were translation of what we were using in English as well as Hindi. So that language barrier I somehow was able to overcome, but suddenly my semester 1 exams were there, and there was a total mistake in the report card that I have received. So I went to my school teacher and I asked him, sir, there is a mistake in the total, what you have done for my marks, and that is actually making me losing my position in the class. If the total mistake was not there, I was securing second position, and if it was, then I was at the level 4 in my class, which was actually making me even more weaker, because I was always been the topper earlier in my Hindi medium school. So he has taken it very lightly. And he said, I'll adjust your marks in the next semester. I was not satisfied with what he has responded to me. And it was a totally new environment, new school, new friends, new teachers, of course, right? So what my take was, I immediately booked an appointment with the principal of the school and told him the whole story. And the result was, the teacher has to immediately correct the marks, and I was at the position 2 in my class, and it was actually helpful for me for gaining my confidence back, because I was trying to excel and I got tuned into that, right? And what I talked about was self-discipline and self-motivation. So we are our own path makers as well, right? So whatever we do, we actually feel confident in what we are doing, and we should respect our decision. So when I came back to my home and my parents asked why this is erased and then done, that earlier it was something else and it is showing second position now, then I told my parents the whole story. So, and that day they believed that yes, she can take her own decisions. I think that was the major step I've taken at school, and this I'm continuously following and try to follow the same in my upcoming life as well. Hopefully this incident will make you feel a self-belief whenever you take decision. So still I'm, as a learner, I'm still learning more about time management and latest advancements in my own field learning. So moving back to the theme of today's talk, that is for this year, United Nations theme is gender equality today for a sustainable tomorrow. Let's talk about what exactly is gender. So is the gender and sex the same terms? If we are confused, there is a resolution of this confusion. Sex actually refers to the biological and physiological characteristics that define men and women. On the other hand, gender actually is made by the society. It is socially constructed. The roles, the behaviors, the activities, the attributes that society consider is appropriate for a man and a woman. So in short, male and female, they are sex categories, whereas masculine and feminine, they are gender categories. And as per our society, what are these roles? As we are discussing since morning, that how women and men are interpreted for their expected roles, like women being sensitive, emotional, they are actually expected to take care of the home, caring, she should be patient, obedient, loving, giving, more caretaker rather than even selfless, also dedicated to satisfy family needs and need to express desires and sexual satisfaction at the same time. And it is often portrayed that women as a leader are quite bossy and working mother as a curse at the same time. On the other hand, the society considers man as a breadwinner, master, dominating, demanding, strong, and who can control emotions. They are also centrifugal, procure, commanding, and free to seek away from home. Whereas there are lots of problems for the women at the same time to seek away from home, even for the work. And real men are bosses, so that they are actually interpreted in this way, and household works unmanly. You might have heard that boys shouldn't cry, men don't cook food, you should wear certain type of clothes to be safe, women should take care of their families only, boys should not mingle with girls, married women should have children early, men should look after the finance, and women should take care of home. But I don't think this will work for us every time, because this is actually responsible for gender inequality, and this is not a phenomena which we are observing in India. This is a global one. Let me show you a video just to show that representation of women, how they are actually feeling. They are competitively working very well, same way as a man is doing. They are taking the same path, but the obstacles are still there for a woman, not for a man. In most of the cases, not in every case, but we have to stand up, come forward, and break this wall that is actually desired at this time. Break this glass ceiling. And we all should come forward, as it's a high time to get more women into the boardroom. Women in the top job means business. So I think this will be the theme for not only this, but European Commission as well. So this is actually giving us a bigger picture. We have to think again that what is a boy and what is a girl. And from where this inequality got created, it is through the stereotypes that we were actually talking about, that in the stories that we actually heard from our grandparents and parents, that there is a queen and a king. Queen got interrupted somehow in a very bad situation, and a man is coming with all the weapons and he will save the woman or the queen, right? But this is not the case in every time, because physical strength is not the only characteristic that is defining a man, and emotional weakness is not the only type which is actually making a hurdle for a woman. It actually starts at our home. One of the more you can say the place where it actually starts is our home. Let's have a look at this video just to have a better understanding of what we actually do at home usually.
मम्मी भैया और मैं खेलने जा रहे हैं। नहीं आज नहीं। क्यों? आज तो मुझे किचन में हेल्प करोगी। मम्मी कोई मम्मी मम्मी नहीं। रौनक तुम चले जाओ, नीचे मिल जाएगा तुम्हें खेलने के लिए कोई। या पापा आप जाओ ना इसके साथ। मैं भी जाऊं? ना बेटा घर का काम भी सीख ले, नहीं तो लोग क्या कहेंगे माँ ने कुछ नहीं सिखाया। लड़कियों को ये सब आना चाहिए।
So this inequality gets learned. It's not inbuilt. We as a society has created this, and I think teaching is most important one for getting rid of it and transforming this gender sensitivity or inequality towards equality. Not only this, even when we start the cartoons at home, so you might have seen Doraemon saving that girl. So always a strong character is a male character, and a female character is actually seeking help from them. So when we grow up, the same thoughts comes to our mind, and we are born and brought up with the same thought that girl always will seek help from a boy, which is not the case. Not only this, Indian advertisements, which are actually making it more towards stereotypes. And yes, nowadays, Indian advertisements are also getting transformed. Let's see how it happens. even for purchase of a pressure cooker, the lady is seeking help for her husband. She's not able to speak even.
आप अपनी बीवी से कितना प्यार करते हैं ये तो बताइए, क्या मतलब है आपका? एम्प्लॉय ऑफ द ईयर, एक भी सिक लीव नहीं ली मैंने। कमाल का कब है ना?
पापा वैसे सब मम्मी के कब का कमाल है।
मम्मी का कब?
हाँ वही जिससे आप हेल्दी रहते हो और रोज ऑफिस जा पाते हो। नेचुरल केयर, रेड लेबल नेचुरल केयर।
अरे इसके हाथों ने तो कमाल कर दिया। पर तुम्हारे हाथों का काम तो बढ़ा दिया।
नहीं माँ, इजी है, मेरे पास अब 10 हाथ है। सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश।
So, making a cup of tea, doing laundry, all this is expected to be done only by women, which is now getting transformed. Let's see how. So, is laundry only a woman's job? That again is a question mark.
आज का क्या प्रोग्राम है?
Pleasure. 160 Why should boys have all the fun?
So, why should boys have all the fun? With that punchline, I think we should inculcate equality rather than inequality towards not only at the stage of the kids being grown up to the stage we are actually the decision makers, taking powerful decisions, having the power with us. So, in the favor of just interest of time, I'm moving towards what is gender sensitization. So this is a process where the people of all genders are actually taught to respect everyone, irrespective of the gender, while acknowledging the differences, rather respecting those differences. The differences are biological differences, we should respect them. And irrespective of those, we should actually taught to respect everyone, right? So that is gender sensitization. So how we are actually transforming this into equality, it's our own role. So gender equality makes us free of biasness, stereotypes, and discrimination. And by equality, we mean not only at the level of education, but also at the job level, at the salary level. Every step should be equal for both men and women for a sustainable development of the nation and global as well. So with this, I would like to speak this quote, which was from Kofi Annan. He says that gender equality is more than a goal in itself. It is a precondition for meeting the challenge of reducing poverty, promoting sustainable development, and building good governance. So I think these are very right words by Mr. Kofi Annan that about gender equality, and it fits into today's scenario as well, because we can see the change in the society these days. Earlier, it used to be like only girls may have long hairs, which is not the case right now. And actually, society is accepting that change. We can see this very often, the same way jewelry being worn by the men as well. Earlier, it used to be that only girls can wear the jewelry, which is not the case right now. You can even see that change in the society by looking at these YouTube channels, which are actually run by kids, the boys, not the girls. The mothers are actually making them learn cooking as a very vital step to be involved in the family. So we should always respect the decision-making power of women as well. Let's have a brief overview of how we can make it done. So this is a very brief story about decision-making power of a woman with the title Hisab Kitab.
हेलो, देख ले भाई कुछ इंतजाम होता होता है।
कितनी बार गई?
हाँ, तन्ने बेरा बस सारी दुनियादारी का।
ये कहाँ है? तू छोड़ भाई की बात नहीं, बार मदद कर दे भाई। राम 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 राम। 20,000 का होगा भी, कैसे करूंगा इंतजाम? बता, किसानी कैसे होती है बता भी है ना? मैं किसान ना हूँ। तो फिर अन्ना हूँ। हाँ जी, 50,000 से करने का बोल रहे हो भाई साहब? 50,000 दे रहा हूँ, बड़ी बात है। डीजल मंदा है जो पानी ना भाई साहब, 70,000 से 1 रुपया कम। 70,000? अरे समझाओ भाभी जी ने। अरे चलो 55 शिवराज जी ना भाई साहब, 70,000 बस तमने बेचनी ना भाई बहन। भाई साहब सुन तो लो, तुम भैंस ना बेचे तो ये लेन देन के काम बंदे संभालन दे। तू घर का चूल्हा सबको देख ले, वही बहुत है। ये लेन देन ठीक होगा तभी तो घर संभलेगा ना। तन्ना समझ है लेन देन की? ये पकड़, पैसा सही तरीके से कहाँ लगाना, कहाँ बचाना है, यही होगा ना लेन देन। बोलन में और करण में बहुत फर्क हुआ है। सही कह रहे हो, सही कह रहे हो। ये देखो 17,000 है मेरे पास। पासबुक दूध बेच के सारा पैसा नहीं दिया था तेरे दिन, थोड़ा जमा करवा दी थी खाते में। अब बाकी पैसे का इंतजाम कर। अरे 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 वो छोड़ो, हम दोनों मिलकर अपना भला बुरा नफा सब देख सके। हाँ घनश्याम, तेरी बहन ने बचा लिए ना, तो भैंस बेचनी पड़ती। ईब लाके है, ये असली किसान तो तेरी बहन है।
महिलाओं की आर्थिक निर्णयों में बराबर की भागीदारी, मतलब परिवार में उन्नति।
So this is like equal participation, not only there, but also in the decision making. I shall also wish to perform this activity even once this talk is over. Like think about the different times in your life when you were asked to behave like a girl or a woman if you are a girl, and behave like a boy or a man if you are a boy at the same time. Many times you are being said that behave like a girl, behave like a boy. That means society has created a picture for you as a man or as a woman. So note down your feelings when you went through those experiences. I think that will help you be a better person as a part of the society once you go through those feelings and express them. So what are the solutions for this gender bias? I think the potential way forwards are identify those biases based on gender, sexuality, age, and race that you hold. Even the psychological security should be there to share your views. Even if, say, a girl is given a chance or an opportunity to speak, she should feel secure that whatever she is saying will be heard and will be implemented at the same time, or will be considered while decision making. Other than that, you should value yourself and your thoughts, respect each other's decision-making power, expose yourself to different experiences, and make the place comfortable to work and avoid the punitive actions at your workplace. Rather, make it corrective actions. Other than that, the correct implementation of good initiatives of the government at managerial levels are equally important. There should be awareness of government initiatives to get rid of this biasness. We must create a motivation. This workshop or conference is actually one of such steps to bring that change. You must be motivated enough. You should feel safe at your work environment and behave like a united force, not as an individual, as a girl or as a boy. We must think as a united force, because society teaches women to be selfless, sensitive, humanitarian, and play the role of a nurturer and a caregiver, while men are brought up to be strong, determined, and confident. What we need a combination of these attributes to build up an inclusive and equitable world. So we must come forward both as a boy or a girl and as a student. If I talk about, because major audience, what was told to me was is actually student. So as a student, I think it's my own perspective that how you can move forward for this sustainable goal of equality, gender equality, rather, I must say. So, first thing is you should read about successful people or listen to them. I think we should talk was more towards this. This is the best part. I felt that what and how people have succeeded can be your own story in future. So read about that. That will give you a kind of motivation. Secondly, you have to get ready to get transformed, because this discrimination or harassment type of feeling has to be transformed to acceptance and motivation at the same time. Other than that, you have to be attentive. You have to utilize these resources as opportunities and relate your research with the practical solutions, because most of you might be research students. So I think if you try to find the solution of these practical things which are actually existing in the society, that will make your research more useful. Other than that, you should have commitment. As I started my talk with the qualities of an individual for success, I think commitment towards work with the help of dedication and time management can help you a lot as a student to bring out that change towards equality. Here are certain opportunities for women scientists by DST, DBT, and Ministry of Earth Sciences. If you want a detailed note on it, I can share with Kiran ma'am. She will briefly describe you about all these opportunities. Just in interest of time, I'm skipping this, just mentioning a few of them. Like, there are so many initiatives which has already been taken by government, like Women Scientist Scheme, Curie Scheme, Mobility Scheme, Indo-US Fellowship Scheme for Women in STEM, Science and Technology for Women, National Training Programs, Serve Women Scientist Excellence Award, Vigyan Jyoti Program for Gender Advancements in Science and Technology Institutions. Other than that, Department of Biotechnology schemes like DBT Biocare, National Women Bioscientist Award, and Ministry of Earth Sciences has already reflected National Award for Best Women Geoscientist. So all these schemes would be, I think you should go through those pages. And if you need detailed information, I can share with you all in future as well. So if we talk about gender equity, it's everyone's responsibility. Let's make it a spectrum rather than the broad ends, which are equal but in opposite direction. So make it behave like a spectrum. For it, we have to support each other for creating good initiatives. I think we have to be the initiator of the change, what you are actually expecting in the society, and be expressive for sharing your opinion and asking question at the right platform. That is equally important, because once we're not sharing what we are actually feeling, we'll not be able to create that impact which is actually desired at this level. Making all these changes, I think we should and we have to many times take risk, but that should be a calculative risk. And once self-analysis, that should be transformed to nurture yourself as an independent personality. We have to be mindful. We should apply our mind so that we can flip that lens. And it's sometimes good to keep your ego aside, to apologize if you have committed a mistake and accept that mistake will not be repeated. So I think it's already started. The change is already started. I've given you a few examples in the society, and this one is another one where we have to act upon now. Let me show you how this is going to change.
Always well prepared. Decades Norwegian men and women have worked together, supporting each other, both at home and business. So, study in Norway. Learn firsthand about the social and economic benefits of gender equality. Oh.
So this is an advertisement, standout go note for a business school towards gender equality, right? So if we conclude this, I must say I've borrowed these quotes, which I found very useful in the present context, that life is not a competition between men and women. It's actually a collaboration. Also, both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. At the same time, both men and women should feel free to be strong. So be Yourself, don't try to fit yourself in anyone else's attire. Be yourself. I would end up this talk by the very powerful quote that I found by Malala. She says, I raise my voice not so I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back. So by half, it means a woman. So let's not forget that in India, the symbol of strength is a woman, the goddess Shakti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
थैंक यू कल्पना मैम, आपने महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया और आपने बताया कि मोटिवेशन, इंस्पिरेशन वो तो हम सबके लिए ही ज़रूरी है, आइदर वो मेन हो या विमेन हो। और आपने बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स हमें बताए कि जिनके साथ हम आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। और जैसे कि डिफरेंस है इक्वलिटी और इक्विटी में, जिसकी आज हम बात कर रहे हैं, आज हम बात कर रहे हैं जेंडर इक्विटी। तो उसी तरीके से डिफरेंस भी है सेक्स एंड जेंडर में, कि हम किस तरीके से कैटेगराइज करते हैं मेल एंड फीमेल को, और जेंडर इक्विटी में हम क्या बात कर रहे होते हैं। तो थैंक यू मैम। और जेंडर बायस से हम कैसे ओवरकम कर सकते हैं वो सब आपने हमें बताया। थैंक यू कल्पना मैम।
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful talk and taking your time out to interact with us. I wish you all the success for your future, and once again, a very happy Women's Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Moving ahead, I would like to call upon and introduce the last speaker of today's day, Dr. Shweta Kushal, who is currently working as assistant professor at IIM Indore. She, being a feminist at heart, has the experience of working on ground level issues like gender equality and identity. Ma'am, I wish you a very happy Women's Day. Please take the mic.
Thank you very
Ma'am,
much. I can't see you, so am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Thank you very much, whoever. What is your name?
Ma'am, I'm Tanushri.
Hi, Tanushri. Thank you for wishing me. And I wish all of you, can we just keep the video on for a bit? I would like to see everyone for a bit, if that's possible.
Ma'am,
Not
are we
just
visible?
stage.
Our video is on.
No, I can only see IIT Indore's logo. I can't see anybody else. So can we please leave that on? Not the stage mode view, but yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon to all of you, and a very happy Women's Day to all the women assembled here. Also, if there are men in the audience, I wish them also a very happy Women's Day. Both the speakers who've spoken before me have spoken so much about so many important things, and I'm not even sure I'll be able to match up to the kinds of messages that they have given, but I will try my best. Thank you. Thank you to both of you speakers who've spoken before me. And I'm just, as you know, my topic is on women leaders. So is it possible to do a small bit of exchange? And I get, like, is it possible to start with a bit of an interactive session?
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
So if I ask something, you people will be able to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. That's brilliant. All right, so I'm going to start with a few images, and I'm just going to ask you if you can recognize who these people are and tell me what their small, in what way, just, recognition of the person's name and if you know what they do. And then we will move forward from there. I hope that's okay. I'm just trying to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So can anyone tell me who this is?
Ma'am, she's the founder of Nykaa.
All right. No, but you have to tell me names. We'll start from here. Can you tell me the name of this lady?
Kiran Majumdar.
Yes, this is Kiran Majumdar Shaw. And she is?
She's an entrepreneur.
She's an entrepreneur. She's the CEO of Biocon. Okay?
Yes.
Biocon is a pharma company. All right. Who is this? Does anyone know?
Audience?
You can ask the audience. That's fine. If there is somebody who knows. This is Soumya Swaminathan. She is a chief scientist since 2019 at the WHO. This, everyone, as you already mentioned, Falguni Nair, she is the CEO of Nykaa. She's also an entrepreneur. She started Nykaa. Does anyone know who this is? This is Roshni Nadar Malhotra. She is the chairperson of HCL Technologies currently. Can anyone recognize this lady? So we don't know even about our own leaders, which is a little sad. But this is Mahua Moitra. She's a TMC
Right, sir.
MP. Sorry?
Somebody from the audience guessed it right, ma'am.
All right. Okay, great. So I'll give you time to guess then. Who is this?
Indra Nui, ma'am. Somebody from the audience.
Indra Nui from PepsiCo. She retired as the CEO of PepsiCo. Anyone? You may not know this one. Is anybody trying to guess it? If you can just tell me.
Anybody from audience? No, ma'am.
This is Angelina Menon. She's the first celebrated contemporary artist of India, of modern India.
Okay.
Anyone from the audience?
No, ma'am.
Malika Sarabhai. She's a dancer's beyond compare, recognized all over the world for her contributions to the field of dance. Anyone?
Mrita Das?
Nandita Das.
Sorry.
Yes. Nandita Das. She has worked endlessly and tirelessly in the support of women and women's cause. All right, I'm going to just go through these images once more. Is there any similarity in all these women's faces?
Confidence.
Okay, all right. So value number one, confidence. Then?
Anybody from audience, anything?
Anything you see that is similar?
Smile.
That's because they're in front of the camera, but okay. Yes, they're all smiling. Confidence. So I'm going to talk about 4 or 5 things, and I'm going to start with Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. One of the things that you notice, as you mentioned, is confidence. And there are different types of power that a woman can wield. It can be the power of confidence. It can be the power of grace. It can be the power of knowledge. So the first two, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw and Soumya Swaminathan, they are the power of knowledge. They are both very well educated women. They are both doing extremely technical jobs. She's the chief scientist of WHO, and she's the CEO of Biocon, which is a pharma company. So in terms of the kind of knowledge that it takes for them to be where they are, it is extremely technical in nature. It is extremely difficult to acquire, and even harder, I'm sure, to translate into something like a company and to do the kind of research that Dr. Swaminathan does. All right. She's worked on tuberculosis and HIV. And when we talk about the power of knowledge, you are in an IIT, right? I'm just going to stop the share for a bit. How do I do that? What is the way to stop the share? Okay. All right. Can you still see the screen? No.
No.
All right. So you are in an IIT and we are talking about the power of knowledge. When we talk about the power of knowledge in terms of the people who have made it to a particular place in a particular way, then you're at the right place for that at IIT Indore. Can you tell me why I'm saying this? Anyone?
Anybody?
Sorry?
The audience wants to hear from you.
Okay, all right. When we are talking about places like IITs, IIMs, and other premier institutions of our country, we should also remember that we have reached here with some struggle, with some effort, with a lot of support from people in our families and our mentors, right? Now, all of that mentorship goes into investing in that power of knowledge, which is what people like the ones whom we just saw, people like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw and Soumya Swaminathan have leveraged on. All right. Then we talk about the power of courage. Falguni Nair, the power of courage. She has been able to break through into a space which was unimagined before. She is the CEO of Nykaa. And when we believe in what we want and we go forward to achieve what we want, then we have courage. Falguni Nair is somebody who has worked with a lot of courage towards what she wanted. And she has been able to achieve what she wanted in a space which was, as I mentioned, unimagined. Nykaa was one of the first movers in the space of online sourcing and distribution of cosmetics, known for its cosmetic advantages and in terms of ability to acquire brands and ability to disseminate them to people. Nykaa is unparalleled in today's Indian context. All of these are Indian women. I will also talk about why I have only picked Indian role models and not somebody else. Then when we look at Roshni Nadar started as everybody else does in a corporate environment at a very small space. And then today she has risen to one of the largest conglomerates of India, HCL Technologies, and she's the chairperson of HCL Technologies. This is also the power of courage. The power of courage to push through the ranks, to break those glass ceilings, and to reach a place where people have not gone before. Same as Falguni Nair. Falguni Nair and Roshni Nadar are both of them who have exhibited power of courage. Mahua Moitra, the power of having a voice, the power of expressing voice, power of expressing what we want, when we want, and the space in which we want to talk about it. Very, very clearly, that's what she does. Fearlessly, if you've watched some of the parliamentary sessions that she's been a part of, then you will know that this is what she does. She's somebody who fearlessly talks about what she believes in, is able to point out the problems of the current and the past systems, and is able to also look at it in an objective manner. Of course, she has an agenda. That is unquestioned. But at the same time, the very fact that she's able to stand on that floor as a young politician and able to take the message across, send the message across to people who are listening, to people in the parliament, that itself is the power of voice. Voicing what you believe in and standing by it. I don't know what to say about Indra Nooyi. She started very early at a very young age when most of us were not even born. And today she has retired as the CEO of PepsiCo. But her power is the power of heart, power of committing to what you believe in. She has constantly and tirelessly done that throughout her career. And when we talk about Indra Nooyi in any context, it is always about, so she says that, a leader has to have the head, heart, and mind in one place. However, for Indra Nooyi, it has always been the heart first and everything else comes later. That is why she has been able to transform organizations the way she's done and mentor transformative leadership as she has gone across different organizations who are now, her mentees are now CEOs of different organizations and also engaged in transformative leadership, transformative collaborative leadership. Angelina Menon, she started in a world full of men when she started out as an artist. Today, she's recognized as one of the pioneers of modern art technique in terms of Indian context, where she expresses women. More of her subjects are women and the lives of women in her paintings. She's, in terms of what she's done for women in the world of art, it's not something that you can even think about. So hers is the power of creativity that she has brought forward through her art. Malika Sarabhai, the power of performance. She's been able to perform in different spaces, in different times, in different ways, and bring across the message not only of culture, but of strength, of perseverance, of endurance, because any stage performance is a lot of work, especially being able to do it consistently. That is Malika Sarabhai, the power of perseverance and strength. And then we have Nandita Das, always standing up for so many issues, most of which are women related, right from, if we look at the way in which she's portrayed characters in her movies and the Dark is Beautiful campaign that she has been a pioneer and the face of, where she talks about how beauty is, well, while it may be skin deep, it can be any kind of skin color that we talk about. So hers is the power of conviction, belief, self-belief. So when we go through all of these women and we start with the power of knowledge, go to the power of courage, power of having a voice and speaking up wherever we want, having the power of the heart, of compassion, of creativity, of perseverance and strength, and of self-belief. This is what makes a woman. And when all of these come together in any kind of a climate, and especially today when we are talking about women in different spaces, when we're talking about women in the armed forces, then we can also think about how all of these together, all of these different types of power are manifested in each and every one of us. So I just want you to think about it for 2 minutes or maybe half a minute, where you articulate what kind of power is your power for yourself. Just take half a minute and you can put your responses in the chat box, and the audience can just, maybe transmit their ideas to the to the speakers in the front, to the people who have the mic. So can you tell me, anybody, please, what would be your power? You can just transmit your ideas to the, I'm sorry, this is an interactive session. I'm really sorry. I'm sure it is making it difficult for most people to.
Ma'am, kindly repeat your question.
My question is, if you were to articulate a type of power for yourself as women of the 21st century, what would it be?
Ma'am,
Yes?
Yes. The power of self-belief, says one of the
Okay.
audience.
Power of self-belief.
Anybody else?
Anyone else?
The power of confidence.
Power of confidence. Okay.
Power to look past the gender stereotypes.
Yes, power to look past gender stereotypes. I think that is something that all of us need to have. Men, women, all genders alike. Any responses in the chat box? Power to be critical. I think Rajan has said power to be critical. All of these together, when we talk about leadership and we talk about the future of India in terms of a transformative leadership, all of these together, the power of strength, the power of perseverance, curiosity, courage, self-belief, criticality, all of these together make you a leader. All of these together make you a transformative leader. Now, what do I mean by transformative leadership? Transformative leadership is something that is able to look at a situation in its entirety and is able to assess what all can be done so that even a difficult situation can be profitable in future. By profitable, I don't just mean in terms of profits or monetary benefits for an organization only, but I'm also talking about sustainability, sustainable profits in terms of communities, in terms of cultures, in terms of how we can impact the people who are around us. So one of the ways in which to measure this transformative leadership in our own lives can be how many people do we impact positively. What do we mean by positive impact? If we look at the 7-8 faces that I showed you, all of them have brought about a certain kind of change in the environment in which they have been. They are all leaders who have invested not only in terms of with their people, but also with others in their organizations and in the environment around them. So when we talk about, say, for example, Indra Nui, and I'm going to share the PPT again. When we talk about Indra Nui, she has been extremely pivotal in changing the way in which PepsiCo has done things over the years. In this way, she has been able to move forward in a sustainable manner, making PepsiCo a water positive organization. So that's not just about profits for the organization, but about constant sustainability that she has achieved. Then when we talk about Kiran Mazumdar Shah, she's on the cutting edge of technology and she's very invested in her women leaders. All of these women have broken what is the proverbial glass ceiling that we talk about, where women are mostly not able to move forward in a particular way. Beyond a point, it is not possible for women to move. That's the common perception. And largely it is true. So what do we do? What do we do as women of today to move beyond that particular threshold? The first thing to remember is to believe in yourself. Power of self-belief. The first thing to remember is to believe in yourself. Second thing to remember is that it's always going to be an uphill climb. The struggle is constant and we have to struggle for ourselves, for our friends, for our future generations, even maybe for our mothers in a lot of ways. And that struggle is ongoing always. It doesn't stop. The first thing is self-belief. The second thing is struggle. And the third thing is to believe in the fact that my efforts can bring about change. To believe in the power of change, the change that you and I can bring together to our world in terms of leadership, in terms of investment, in terms of commitment and compassion. And to remember always, and this is my last thought, because I'm done with my 25 minutes, I think. I don't really want to take too much time, and I would like to open the floor if you have any questions. So my last thought to you is to remember that everyone of us, all of us together, are phenomenal women. And I'm just going to read this from Maya Angelou's poem. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model's size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say it's the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Thank you very much for giving me this platform, for taking time to listen to me. And please remember, phenomenal woman, that's all of us, together, all the time, struggling, moving forward, even though life will throw its own boulders in our way. We fight because there is self-belief, there is a desire to change, bring about change, and there is belief in the struggle that can engender change. Thank you very much for having me, and all the best to all of you. Have a wonderful day ahead.
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू श्वेता कुशल मैम। आपने हमें उन विमेंस के बारे में बताया जिन्होंने सभी ग्राउंड लेवल की प्रॉब्लम से ओवरकम करके हम सबके लिए एक मिसाल बन करके आगे आए हैं, जैसे वो साइंस वर्ल्ड में हो या एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हो या फिर एक्टिंग में हो, एंड विमेंस की स्ट्रेंथ के बारे में बताया। थैंक यू मैम, हम सभी को इंस्पायर करने के लिए। थैंक्स अ लॉट।
Thank you, Shweta ma'am, for joining us today and sharing stories of these fearless women who must be celebrated and looked upon by us. We, the entire IITI community, wish you all the very best for your future endeavor. Thank you once again for joining, and a very happy Women's Day. Thank you, ma'am.
Should I leave the meeting now?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a great day, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Same to you. So, moving ahead, now